What's up, guys? I'm here with my guy, Luke. We're out here gonna have an honest conversation. We're both making a lot of money in the business game not compared to a lot of people, but compared to a lot of other people. We know a few things. I feel like we're babies in the business game as well. And that's okay, right? But we've learned a lot of lessons, and we're gonna just share a few of those raw lessons here in this video.
Love it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, to start it off, I think the best thing is, like, I've invested with you. I've invested $8,000 over the last 4 months with you, and I'm about to invest another $30,000. But I know you've invested way more to learn way more. So I'm learning from you, and you've learned a lot from other coaches. Like, how much have you invested in coaches in order? Some key takeaways you've gotten.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So I guess I've spent about $250,000 plus in the last 4 years on coaches, courses, and masterminds. And so, all right, I guess to sum it up, every single time I've joined something, I've made my money back 5, 10x fold, right? Every single time. I'm very like picky on who I invest with because they have to be able to solve a very clear problem for me. But I've also invested in some bad coaches as well. And that's okay. That's just the name of the game. Like a big lesson, even if the other coach didn't perform as they said they would, me releasing my money and knowing that hey God, like I'm willing to like invest into other people, like show me the way, like it just brought in more connections, more like it helped me think bigger, and a lot of valuable lessons came from learning from people making a lot more money than me.
Sweet. Was there any like certain key points in life that or quotes or little pieces of nuggets that you learned from one coach that changed your life?
All right, so I guess my first coach, this was like Brody, his name's Brody Kern, it's Wake Up Wealthy. This was like 4 years ago. If you can, you must. That's one thing I learned. And like, I learned that if you can, you must. And like, I don't know, I remember like, this was like my first coach. I was scared to invest in him. I spent like $10K. And then I went and invested in his other 5K thing for a weekend to go get beat up like a week before my wedding. It was like this boot camp thing. And like, it was crazy. It was like a week before my wedding. I was scared I was gonna get a black eye out there because there was a bunch of us rough guys. And then I invested into this $30,000 mastermind. That was a year-long thing. And so, but one of the biggest takeaways was like, if you can, you must. And like, guys, like a lot of people don't take advantage of like coaching programs because like I was able to always message the person like, hey, can I help? How do I grow? How do I do this? How do I do this? I made connections in the group. Like some of my friends to this day, 4 or 5 years later, I'm still friends with from that group, and they're all making millions and millions of dollars a year, and we help each other out. We collaborate in different things. And so just getting yourself, and so I spent like $45,000 total almost, around there for a year plus of consulting with my first coach, and like that changed my life because like if you can, you must. Like it's so simple, but like if you see a lead, you just don't half-ass it because you can. You know what you're capable of, so you must give it your all. And it just like clicks something in me like, bro, if you can, you must.
Love it. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. What about you? Like who was your first coach?
My first coach, the person I first ever invested in was Wes Watson.
Wes, that's right.
Yeah, so I've been listening to Wes Watson for the last like 4 years. I started listening to him at the lowest point in my life. Like I was depressed, like unmotivated, didn't want to get out of bed just from like situations in family that have happened. And I was waking up at noon, going to work from 2 to 10 p.m. and then just wasting the night, every single night, day after day after day. I found Wes Watson from my brother who sent me a video. He's like, hey, check this guy out. I didn't listen to him for 2 days, and then I finally listened to him and changed my life. It made me just see life so differently that I was being ungrateful for this life I was blessed with for another day alive. Started the personal development journey, and after that, like I listened to a lot of it. And then once I started making more money, I got into sales because I started listening to him about like everything with sales is everything. And I got into door-to-door solar. Then I got into cybersecurity sales and then software sales. Once I got to software sales, I was making more money and I was able to invest with him. I closed a huge deal. I didn't even collect that commission check yet, but I invested with 3 months with Wes, and that was $7,500. Boom, just like that. Split up between a credit card and my debit card. And I invested with him for 3 months of coaching. And this was after I invested with him for a month or two for fitness coaching. So I got in good shape. I was like, Wes, I want to teach others how to do the same thing. He hit me with the prices are going up soon. and it got me.
Objection?
Yeah,
Or
prices are going up soon on the story.
Scarcity thing?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, Wes, like, not yet, like, I'm ready, let's do it. And he got me. But what that did is I released that money. I learned so much about social media and how to use it as a tool. And then I realized I was doing online fitness coaching. Until I realized that I had all the skills, I had all the blueprint, so to say, but I was only attracting people that were my age that needed fitness help. And I was 21 at the time. I invested $7,500, and nobody at my age was willing to invest $200-300 a month to get in good shape, because I was teaching them how to do that. Nobody had the money for that. Everyone was broke.
Yeah.
And so maybe I put that back to me, like I didn't deliver the value enough, but a lot of people were broke. That's when I started pivoting to the media side of things. And you hit me up about it too. You hit me up when I was doing online fitness coaching for Wes and talking about videos and everything for that. I was like, oh yeah, just started this media stuff. I don't even remember. But around that time you hit me up and we started talking, and I started looking into more of the media, like doing the videos for people instead. Because I found you because Wes said, talk to Boris. Go talk to Boris, talk to Boris. You need video editing? Talk to Boris at the time. And so then started doing media stuff. I pivoted to helping the online coaches in Wes's group create content. Gym owners, online fitness coaches, everybody that also invested with Wes, I tapped into to do videos for.
Yep.
And that worked for a bit, and then I invested with you. Then I split from a business partner that we did the media stuff with. We did $10K our first month in July, and then next 2 months were like $2K, and like burned through all my savings, like racked up a credit card, all this stuff. And split from the business partner. And then I heard the quote from Joel, who learned it from you. It's not about being the best, it's about being the best known. Took that, ran with it. I wanted to be the best known person for video editing at that time. I was done with online fitness coaching. I found more opportunities in the videography and video editing. And then you were the one that told me about the video editing. Like, it was just doing videography. You were like, Luke, I'd rather go play. I remember the voice memo vividly. Like, Luke, I don't know about you, but I'd rather go play pickleball and hang out with my wife and do all this rather than going out to film. Yeah, it may be your passion, but another good passion is having everything streamlined for you. And that stuck with me. And yeah, so then I invested with you when I hit like 10K for the first month, and it was go time after that.
That's crazy. What a story. So Wes brought us together, huh?
Yeah, Big Wes.
Big Wes. Wes is a legend, guys. Like that, it might be a little angry sometimes, but that guy's a legend. And so can't like that. Yeah, guy's doing $3 million a month. Like, always something to learn from someone like that. He understands branding very well, but that's absolutely crazy how that brought us together. That's crazy. So you pivoted into this game, and then you just like when I listen back to all that, it's like a lot of unknowns, right? Like fitness coaching, videography, content, videographer, consulting. Look at the last year, bro. Like the last year and a half, like that's like 10 unknowns that you just jumped into without guessing. And that's like, I think that's like one of the most successful traits of an entrepreneur. Like, they just do it and don't look back. And like, that's something I have as well, because you remind me a lot about me. And like, I do that and I'm like, well, damn, I'm gonna figure it out. And sometimes you're like, this sucks, right? But sometimes it pays off so well that you're like in a penthouse in Costa Rica chilling with your clients, right? And so like, it's crazy how it works, but yeah.
So talk about that pivoting. Like I've realized I've pivoted a couple times in my career, or entrepreneurship career. IT sales, I stopped that. That was in my 9-to-5, last one in July. Quit that, and then pivoted a couple times since then. Have you pivoted in your?
Yeah, dude, I made a lot of big pivots, right? So like I haven't worked a 9-to-5 for the last like 7 years. I couldn't stand someone telling me what to do. I couldn't stand I don't like someone telling me what to do. But yeah, so like the pivots was always there. And like ever since I was in high school, I graduated a year early because I remember raising my hand and hating to raise my hand to go to the bathroom. And then I'm like, I'm dropping out. And they're like, no, don't drop out. We'll figure something out. And I graduated a year early. I was able to double my classes and graduate my junior year. Regardless, I couldn't stand someone telling me what to do. Shortly after that, I was at a 9-to-5, hated that. And then I got into real estate. So I pivoted into real estate. Sold real estate for 4 years and made a lot of good money. I was like a top 1% agent in the city. But like, dude, that's like going back to my other thing when we talked about, that's a wrong boat. Like people, like there's boats in life, and like there's like people working construction all day long, trading time for money. Bad boat. Me being a real estate agent, still making $1 million in like 3 years, Bad boat, because I'm tied to Columbus, I'm tied to the city I was in, I'm tied to my clients. Something can go south. Then I pivot into the agency. Great. 25 employees, a bunch of BS to deal with, even though it's streamlined, bad boat, right? It's like, essentially, it's not a bad boat. Everything's a bad boat compared to the place where you're at right now, but your boats upgrade throughout life. So I went from like a canoe or a kayak to like a yacht now in consulting. And like, it just like, you just grow as your skill set compounds. And so like the boat you guys row is like everything. Because a lot of you guys will be in like doing something that trades your time for money and you're like wondering why you're not rich. And you're like, dude, you're like swimming upstream. Where a yacht is just like going wherever the hell it wants because it's a yacht, right? And so like choose the right boat. And so yeah, transitions are very important as long as you're doing them wisely. So I went from real estate or almost dropping out of high school, graduating a year early, to a 9-to-5, which I hated, to real estate for 4 years, which I should have got out of there way sooner. I wish I was doing what you're doing at your age. I wish I was in your shoes at your age. And then agencies, scaled that up like crazy, made a lot of money with the agency, and then pivoted into consulting, right? So those are all pivots like you made, but like you have to understand you have to understand when to slow down too. Like that's a huge lesson I want to talk about too, because like you can make pivots, but they have to be towards the right area of your life, right? Like you have to be getting into a better boat essentially that will make you more money with less time involved, with a higher profit margin that's a lot more scalable. So as long as you're doing that, that's okay. But oftentimes I see people going from this agency to this agency, this agency, this agency, and like they're never passing 10K a month. And I'm like, they're like, oh, we're supposed to switch, right? No, dude, you didn't stick with one thing long enough, right? Like it's supposed to suck for 6 months, guys. Suck it up. And so yeah, you're supposed to, transitions are key because the thing is, as your skill sets evolve, you get presented with new opportunities. And those opportunities make you so much more cash. And so I love transitioning.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's amazing. Every transition, it can be a level. It could be a setback if you're going way too fast into it. Yeah. But it could also be like the next level. Like, Luke, you're not a videographer anymore. Boom, next step.
Yeah.
Marketing consultant. Whoa. Boom, now you're selling an ad strategy for 3K.
5K.
Now it's 5K.
Which raised the price.
We're raising the price again. That's insane. If you would have told me that 6 months ago, we were doing 41K months, like I would say you're absolutely crazy. There's no way. Absolutely no way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Show me the way.
It's crazy, guys. And so yeah, I mean, transitions are key, man. Like as long as you're making the right transition, right? And so like, but you also have to know when to like stop looking at other things. Right? You have to also know when to not have shiny object syndrome. Now that I'm in consulting, I can't look at a single another thing for the next 5 to 10 years. Because there's 3 stages to business, online businesses. There's agency, done for you services. And then there's consulting, done with you services. And then there's SaaS. And so like, I'm nowhere near the level of SaaS. And so like right now is the time to build up. But I feel like the hardest part is the agency / done for you / learning the skills / personal development, because you can't even become a consultant unless you know a thing or two, right? And so once you're in my shoes or once you're in the consulting now, welcome to the club. Welcome to the VIP, welcome to the yacht, right? And so, which is funny because we were on a yacht together in Miami.
Yeah, it was your yacht.
Yeah. And so, yeah, guys, transitions are key, but like, you can't really transition into something a lot more profitable unless you learn the thing, because you've been learning the thing for a minute now.
Yeah, you have to know it. You have to know the ads in order to move up to the next thing. You have to know the videography. At least for me, how it works is I had to know how to edit. But usually you don't have to now. But like I knew I wanted to know how to edit in order to teach my editors like even more, to get even better.
Yeah,
that's how it worked for me.
But it goes deeper than that, right? Before you're able to become a consultant, it was a door-to-door solar.
Yeah.
Which got you better to talking to people. Which these little skills, while you guys are in this grinding mode area of your life, these little skills aren't useless. Like learning how to hold a camera, learning how to sell solar, learning how to talk to people, it all combines into one skill, and then you became a savage with your agency, and now you're about to take over the consulting space.
It starts 100% with personal development though.
All of it.
If I didn't change my mind and how I saw the world, none of this would have happened. I would still just be like unmotivated with life, depressed, like just going mosey on through life, working at Trader Joe's. I worked at Trader Joe's for 5 years before getting into door-to-door. But I was developing my mindset at the end of that. I realized, okay, I'm getting paid $18 an hour. Everyone else is getting paid $18 a round. They're working half as hard as me, and I'm making $18 an hour. And so, yeah, it was good money. I was, 20 at the time? Good money. But then, boom, you pivot. And then you get into something different, like door-to-door solar. And I made my same check I would make in a month working at Trader Joe's, I made that in one day. So it changed my whole life. But it started with the mind. It started with going to the gym, waking up early. Like everyone talks about that kind of stuff, but the reason why is because it calluses your mind. It builds your confidence in life, like that you can go and do things, that you can go and take a fully commission-based job and see how it works out.
Yeah.
But if you never develop your mind, you don't have that confidence to go. Like there's scarcity, the fears come up.
So you're saying 2 years ago you were at Trader Joe's and today you're making $40K a month chilling in Costa Rica? 2 years?
2.5.
2.5?
I have it, yeah. End of December, I was done with Trader Joe's.
2.5 years. And just to say, dude, she likes Trader Joe's. My wife over here loves Trader Joe's. You seem like the perfect Trader Joe's employee, the guy that actually welcomes it. He's such a good Trader Joe's employee. But dude, that's crazy, right? 2.5 years you've done all this. Guys, if you're think about this, if you're stuck and tired of being in the same place year after year, put your head down for 2.5 years and your whole life can change. Straight up, Luke's probably gonna make $750 to $1 million this year, and 2 years ago he's at Trader Joe's.
How crazy is that? If you told me that 2 years ago, I would say you're delusional. You're absolutely crazy.
Well, you have to get delusional about it.
Ooh.
Right? I'm 25 and I'm trying to make $4 million this year, and I'd be delusional if I try to explain it to a normal person, right? That's delusional, right? But watch it happen, right?
Ooh,
watch it happen.
Watch it happen. So that's so freaking awesome. But my 2021 tax return, at the end of the year, I was working at Trader Joe's, was $21,000 after taxes. For a whole year of working at Trader Joe's. Half-time, part-time, half full-time.
Yeah.
21,000. And we made double that in a month.
It's crazy. And you made,
2.5 years ago. I'm no different than anybody else.
Yeah, and that's a year of slaving away.
A year, yeah.
You made you made that in the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Guys, this, there's levels to the game, right? So I think I think we live in this kind of generation where it's participation trophy generation. I swear, I think a lot of people were raised this way, and you were told by someone that you're supposed to make more money and it's supposed to come easier to you, and everything's, dude, it sucks. The grind to get your skill sets and the personal development, waking up and hitting the gym, and the days where you don't know how to pay your payroll, and the days where you're putting everything on a credit card, investing into a coach, that stuff sucks. There's no participation trophy generation in business. There's nothing like that, because if you think like that, you're gonna get it all taken away. Well, if you think like that, you'll have nothing that someone wants to take away from you, and so you'll never build anything real. But guys, it's not supposed to be easy. That's my point. To sum that up, it's not supposed to be easy.
No, not at all. Back in October, so yeah, the crazy journey with this. Back in October, when I split from my business partner, I had nothing in savings. I just got a faulty chargeback too at that same time.
Dang.
So I got a $2,000 chargeback from a guy that was freaking out, a young kid. He invested for content, couldn't pay it, and he was like, "Guys, we need a refund." But no, we're gonna give you content just whenever. $2,000 chargeback to my account, $4,000 on a credit card, and $1,000 in my checking account. Boom! I have negative $2,000 in my savings account that was connected to my Stripe. They yanked it. There's nothing to yank. Nothing to freaking yank, but they did it anyways. And so, but I have the screenshots. Freaking Stripe. But I did win the chargeback. I won it.
That's crazy.
But it took 30 days. But right after that, literally by the grace of God, I got a client for videography for $3,000. And boom, there's the negative $2,000. My mom didn't have to stress out because she saw my bank account. Luke, Mom, trust me, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Was it okay? I had no idea.
Yeah.
But you always know it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, you do. And guys, we have God on our side, right? So we believe in, I believe in having a higher power. You can't do this stuff alone. You really can't do this stuff alone. And so many times where things just come together in a place where it's beautifully orchestrated. There's no way you as a human being can do that. No way at all. Like no matter how many connections you have, no matter how much luck there is, like there's no way it just all pieces together so beautifully, better than you expected. So it's like also having like faith that like, dude, it's not us. Like it's gonna get figured out regardless.
Always. Like that's the biggest, having the faith in a higher power. Like there's no such thing as a coincidence, and we've always been taken care of by God.
Always.
Like, through everything.
Yeah. Even if you don't see it too, like even if you're like accounts in the negative, like dude, I remember being $112,000 in debt to be exact, 3 years ago when I bought my house, like crying on this bed, the last time I cried. And so like, dude, I remember sitting there like, dude, I hate my life. But like, even then, somehow I was able to buy chicken and rice for like 6 months and provide. Like God has your back. And so it's like, even when there's like literally no hope and like everything kind of sucks, like, dude, like you're fine, you're alive. Like suck it up, you're fine. Like it all comes together.
It always does. There's never, like think about all the miracles in life for there not to be a higher power for God. Like think about it.
Yeah.
Think about everything that life has had to happen for your parents to meet, for your parents to date, to your parents to get married, whatever, for your parents to have you, and then to be born, to be able to like grow up and to be exactly where we're at right now. There's so many miracles and like there's so many things that could have happened in our lives for this not to happen. This very moment. For you guys watching this video, for this like being in freaking Costa Rica in your penthouse.
Yeah. All right, well, like look, like you could like, all right, so like God is amazing, right? But like if you could take it all back, like if you could like dissect every little thing. All right, so my business, for instance, the agency, I cold DM'd Wes Watson 2 years ago. Well, I didn't do it. My VA did. Cold DM'd him. I had VAs on 3 different accounts when we started the agency. We were doing a bunch of cold DMs, sending 300 DMs a day. Cold DM Wes. Yo, Wes, can we do a free video for you? Got him on as a client. He never paid me a penny, but he brought in like $700,000 worth of revenue. Freaking sick. That's what happens when you have connections. Like that guy's a legend for that. He literally brought me so many deals. But what happened was, and then that's what like catapulted a lot of the business, and we got a lot of referrals from him. But what I'm saying is like, my VA, I took the bet on myself to go hire a VA. The VA chooses Wes Watson. Wes Watson, living his crazy busy life, chose to DM me back. I over-delivered, sent him 2 free videos every day for 6 months in a row. He connected me with Joel. He connected me with Luke. He connected me with 50 other clients. And now, then I got into consulting, built up the agency, met Luke. He's now here as a mastermind. Like, because of a freaking VA sending a cold DM to Wes. Like, if that's not God, I don't know what is. Like, I didn't do that. Right? Like guys, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's always on our side, whether we see it or not. That's insane to think about. A VA, random DM to Big Wes.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I said, don't message these big accounts because they don't reach out. And bam, Wes is like, yeah, man, send me what you got. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy.
Faith has played such a big role. I have a What Would Jesus Do bracelet. So it's just a daily reminder of like, how would Jesus live? If Jesus was here on earth today, like how would he live? How would he treat people? And it hasn't served me wrong yet. No. Living like Jesus. No. Attempting to.
Yeah. I try. We try, right? No, that's crazy, man. You get tested all the time out here. Yeah. In business.
100%. I got a question for you. I love asking this, but what advice would you tell your 22, 23-year-old self? It was 2-3 years ago. Yeah. What would you tell yourself then?
Surround yourself around people making more money. So like the faster you surround yourself around people making more money, something just rubs off. Like something just like rubs off, and they're like, and you start realizing that person is a human being. Like that person has same skin, same blood, same thing as you. They just know something that you don't. And like if you could surround yourself around them, it just breaks your limiting beliefs because and you emulate the way they walk, the way they talk. And so like I literally like surround yourself around people. I remember having friends. I just took out some of my friends to like a really nice steakhouse like a month ago in Columbus. I took out some of my really good friends, and I remember I met them 4 years ago where I was a young schmuck in real estate, and I was doing like $100K a year at that point. I was brand new, first year in real estate, and these dudes were like making millions and millions of dollars, making $1 million investments, and I was somehow allowed in that little group, and like crazy. But one thing I learned was like, shut up and listen. Like, I had nothing to bring to the table. Nothing. Like, if I talked, they would not want me around there. Because, like, it would be such a low-level thing that I would say. So all I did was shut up and listen and just thank them for their time. And then a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, I started, like, learning a thing or two. I started coming into the conversation. I started networking with them. And then a year later, I was able to bring a lot of the conversations, and we're equals, and we're making the same kind of money now. And I was able to take them out to dinner, and I was like, remember this guy's like, I remember being like this young schmuck, and they're like all like 5, 6 years older than me. And I'm like, I took them out to dinner, and I thanked them. It was like, I paid for the tab, it was like $700, and I'm like, thank you guys. And we all had to drink some old fashions and get good steak and get good dessert. I freaking love old fashions and dessert and steak a day. But my point is, I got around those people and I had to thank them and show them some love, and like your goal should be to surround yourself around people making a lot more money and find a way to bring them value. Like, I literally did nothing that would cost them anything. I just found ways to bring value. Anytime they had the event, I'm like, guys, can I bring pizza? Can I bring something? Can I do something? Can I be resourceful anyway? Like, I just want to sit here and chill with you guys. And so I think 4 years ago, babe, remember that? Like 4 years ago when I started going to the mastermind things, remember that? Mm-hmm. And like,
we had one at our house.
We had one at my house too. That was when I was ballsy enough to be like, guys, come over to my house. Yeah, like, I don't know, but surrounding yourself around people that make more money, and now it's like different. Remember, like, I'd hang out with him and we'd be like, hey, Boris, let's go for a ride. I'm like, all right. And he's like, oh, I just got this new Lambo, paid $400K cash. I'm like, what the hell? Like, okay, cool. And so, like, different kind of energy. It's a different kind of energy. Hanging around with people making more money, and you start soaking up that energy, and you don't take away from it, they give it, because they're actually abundant thinking. And that's the thing about wealthier people. They give it to you if you ask for it, right? They will give it to you. You just have to, like, be there and not be, like, selfish. And so I think that's one of the biggest things I could tell my younger self. Find a way to get around people making more money. Whether it's for free, oftentimes it's paid. Put it on a credit card. Who cares? Like, when you came around my group, like, Clinton's making money, this person's making money, I'm making money. Like, you're like, out of nowhere, you're like, damn, it's possible. And you skyrocket, right? And so it's like, that's a long answer, but get around people making money and everything changes.
It opens it up because they're human too.
Yeah.
Nothing different. There's nothing different. I have a buddy, his name's Kevin. But like, we just go back and forth sending Stripe accounts. Like, oh dude, like, how's your day been? And good, boom, send it. And like, how's his? Boom. I've seen him go from 0 to $1 million in revenue in 7 months.
Let's go.
With his remote cleaning business.
That's crazy.
So crazy. But I've seen it grow from, oh yeah, we did 20K this month. Oh, we did 50K. We did 60, 70, 80, 100, 200. Like, me and him talk on the phone. It's just normal. Like, oh yeah, we did this. I'm pissed it wasn't 6 months to hit $1 million in revenue. I'm like, oh, crazy.
You ever notice how, like, the people making the most money are the hardest on themselves? Like, straight up, like,
he hates his life because he didn't hit $1 million in 6 months.
Yeah, like, I was mad at myself the last couple weeks because I didn't hit 100K last month. Like, dude, chill out. Like, it's so stupid. Like, but it's also like, it's such a good thing too, because like, it makes you grind. Like, what I do this month, ramped up ads, got a new setter, getting whatever, just whatever I gotta freaking do, because like, I don't like losing. And so like, it's crazy.
I was pissed I didn't hit 50K this month. And I hit 41. Like, that's ridiculous.
It's stupid, right? We're so blessed, but like, it's also, it's nice. It's motivating.
You have to. That's like a common denominator for people that are successful though. Like, they're never satisfied.
Never.
Right?
Yeah.
They're never satisfied. They're always should be doing more. They're always trying to do more for some type of reason.
Yeah.
Always have a fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's crazy. And like, the people making the most, like, they start realizing it's not just about money anymore. It's like about like fulfillment, right? That's why I like coaching a lot. Like, it's actually fulfilling. That's why, like, sometimes I'm trying to take off a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, and I'm sending voice memos to my clients back. I love the game, right? So it's like, you have to do something that you actually love, but not necessarily, because like, I hated real estate. I like the agency, but like, you don't have to do something you love, but like, you have to like love the levels to it and understand that like, it won't always be like this, right? It won't always be that painful or that tiring, because once you have some money, you can deploy leverage, right? Then you can buy VAs, you just hired a videographer.
Yeah, like, how crazy is that?
Like, you're not gonna be out there filming people out here, right? So it's like, it's crazy, man. And so, it's levels to the game. Mm-hmm. It's levels.
No, No,
But
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's why I want to move to Florida too. And like, it's just, yeah.
Why do you want to move to Florida?
So I want to move to Boca, which is like, it's nice. And like, I've been to like Miami. We were going to do Brickell. It's too crazy. We went there and she's like, no, get me out of here. I liked it, but like that's more of like a single guy kind of vibe, trying to build something, working 15 hours a day, no real fulfillment. Like I want a family, I want to scale up and have that balance. And so then we went to Fort Lauderdale. It's kind of whack. It's okay. And then we went to Boca. Woo! It was like, I don't know. It's a different vibe. And so we went to Boca and it was really, really nice. It's just very expensive and it's very like well maintained and it's hard to get in there. And so like, that was kind of like the level to it, and I like the levels to it. But like when you go there and you just go grab coffee in the morning, every other car is a supercar. Like we went to like what's the Boca Strip thing? Meisner Park. There's a Ferrari, there's an R8, there's a Lambo, there's a Porsche, there's another Ferrari. I'm like, dude, and I'm not like materialistic. Or yeah, a little bit, but like I'm not like fully materialistic. But like when you go out of a coffee shop and you see that, like remember we were walking out of the Starbs, which Starbs is kind of mediocre.
Yeah,
like
crazy. It
was just walked out and it's like a Porsche, R8, and it's not about these things, but it's just like you have to like soak yourself around what's possible. Because what happens? Who walks out of those cars? Younger guys walked out of those cars, and then you start seeing like if they could do it, I could do it. And now I want to buy a Lambo as soon as I get there. And so it's like little things like that like. I don't know.
That's so sick.
I don't know.
That's so sick.
You have to come see me in Boca in like 6-7 months.
We'll be there next mastermind. I invested for the year.
Yeah, you're right.
We're on it for the long haul. So no, it's been awesome. Like you've changed my life, man. Like truly.
I appreciate that.
So from just like it's not even in just one area. It's not even just like financially, yeah, you've helped me raise the income, but I'm happier now. Like you've gone through a crazy ride with me with life and like relationships and all this, and like I've gone to you for all that. But like it's just so cool to see the now I'm like giving back and everything too. So like that's the coolest part. Because like before I was always scarcity minded, like I was always trying to save $1, but you have to give you have to give away the $1 to actually get one. But it's like just giving now. Yeah. It's been the biggest blessing.
The big tips, it's so fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They freak out.
They
don't believe it.
No. They're like, sir, is that the wrong amount?
Yeah.
Like, no. Yeah. I get hit with that all the time. Well, in the US, here it's like weird. They don't let you like tip, you have to do it with cash. But like in the US, always, man, it's crazy.
How awesome is that? Yeah, that happened at a coffee house or a coffee shop. I had the meeting there with the client. Closed up. Awesome. He left, and I went up and tipped. What was it, like $200? Yeah. And then because there's like a bunch, I was like, oh, how do the tips work here? And they're like, oh, we split it. I'm like, oh, cool, awesome, sweet, boom, 200. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, and then I just hobbled back because my leg. Yeah. Sat down. And then it was like 5 minutes later till they recognized it. Yeah. And then a guy came out from the back. He's like, hey, like I managed the tips here. Like I just want to make sure like that was the correct amount. I'm like, oh yeah, it was. I just want to give back. And they're like, oh my gosh, the girls really appreciate it. And then the girls started freaking out. Yeah. It's just like, gotta give back. Yeah. And show people it's possible too. So it's like, when I've done it at other places, it's like, this is what's possible when you start your own thing, when you do your own business. You can give back more than you ever thought. Yeah. Another quote that you taught me, you'll never be able, if you can't give 1,000 out of 10,000, you'll never be able to give 1,000,000 out of 10 million.
That's right. Like that's right. Yeah. Like that's what my uncle taught me, and he always forces me to give. And it's like the little things, dude. It doesn't even have to be like a lot. Like if you're watching this, go give the Starbucks or go some local coffee shop where like it's smaller, whatever. Like go give them like, it's little things. Like I bought a coffee like in Ohio like last week, whatever, or a couple weeks ago, and like it's just little. Like coffee costs $5, the tip was $25. Nothing crazy. You don't need to tip them $1,000, right? Even though we've done that and that feels really, really good. But like little things like that light up their day, guys. They light up your day, and so and it's also about like giving back to your family, like giving back to those that somewhat believed in you or were there from the beginning, right? And so like that's huge, man. Like I don't know. It's like the little things, like being able to, like I took my mom shopping. She hasn't been to that mall in her life, and it's like in that city. It's like 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, right? And I'm like, Mom, go shopping. Like we took her to every store, and like And she's like, what, like, I don't want to buy anything. And like, we had to force her to keep buying things. Like, go get a purse, starts looking at the price tags. No price tags. Go. She went to the clearance section, right? So I'm like, no, go pick the purse you actually love. She pointed at that one, and she looked at the price tag. She's like, you can't get this from me. I'm like, or started ringing it up, right? I'm like, all right, perfume. Goes to the perfume, stop looking at the prices. And then shoes. And I'm like, what else you need, right? And so it's like giving people an unlimited budget. And then I did it for my wife's mom, the same, like 2 days later. And so it's like, that feels good, right? Like, guys, it's not about like holding the money. It's not, like, after you make some cash, it's not even like it's all about other people, right? It's like, give. You have to give. Like, it's freaking, it's crazy, man. Like, I think God tests you too. I think God tests you with like these little things where like money. I always believe, like I always talk about this in our calls, but like we always look very straight and narrow, but like money is to the side of us. We always look straight and narrow. We're like, how do I make more? Money is like right here. It's like right here. And as soon as we give, it's like God opens up our vision to see this side. And then I give a little bit more and I see this side. And then I see like this wide range of like opportunities. And as I make more cash from those opportunities, I go give more. And then God keeps opening my eyes. And it's a never ending cycle. So it's like, whoa, it's deep. Like it's deep. I don't know. Like start giving. It's so freaking important. It's crazy. It's crazy, 100%. Man.
Yeah, I agree.
Man,
sweet.
This is cool, man. Anything else? Any other questions you have for me? What's up?
We got a viewer with a question.
We got a viewer with a question.
Luke, you could ask it, but what are some Bible verses that comfort you, that you always find yourself going back to?
We'll just repeat that. What are some Bible verses that you go back to?
That comfort you.
That comfort
me. All right, so give me my phone, babe. Right here. I have 3 of my favorites. I can read them off real quick. I have 3 of my favorites that I always memorize. So like I recorded a video for myself. Off topic. I recorded a video myself. I saw, you know who Serge Katari is?
Serge Katari.
He's like this savage in the online space. He recorded a video of himself like 3 years ago making $500K. He's like, one day I'm gonna make $500K a month and I'm gonna post this video. So right away I went outside and I recorded a video. All right, this day, Boris is making $500K a month, whatever. All right, so one of the biggest verses is 2 Corinthians 9:8. And I'll read off 2. In 2 Corinthians 9:8, and God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you abound in every good work. And so like, just knowing that like, we have so much more than like, we ever thought was possible, like, and it's all from God. But God blesses us abundantly, and knowing that like, it's all from God too, because a lot of times, I see a lot of wealthier people. They're like, I did this, and that verse always makes me realize like God gave us that ability, God gave us that abundance. And then another one is, every time I try to get a little bit more materialistic, and I talk to Clinton, and he's like, get the Rolex, which Clinton's a savage, I respect that guy, but like, I'm going to get the whatever, I'm going to get the materialistic things when I get to Florida. But I always read this, do not conform to the pattern of it's Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. And so that kind of reminds me of like, dude, like God already has a path for you. You don't have to like go into the world to kind of like just like it's all God already has a plan for me, and like I'm not gonna go and conform to the pattern, because I see it so much, man. I see it so much. Like people on my level, they'll make a lot of money and then go like straight into drugs, straight into this, straight into ruining their whole life. And so they conform to the patterns of the world, and they think that's everything. Where like that's literally the opposite, right? I'm not gonna lose my soul to gain the world, and so it's like. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah. What about you, Luke?
That's huge. That's my life verse.
Yeah.
Right there, Romans 12:2.
Yeah.
Yep. I had that on back of hoodies when I was doing online fitness coaching, and I made hoodies.
We talked about it today.
We talked about it this morning at breakfast.
That's crazy.
It literally said Romans 12:2.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I think honestly it's that too. It's because do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So like the patterns of this world are all around us, and there's so many different paths we can go down in life, and like. With vices and just like how people act, like your community, who you surround yourself with, like how you think. But once you like step out of that into your purpose and like realize like you get around people that think bigger than you, that can push you in other ways, physically, spiritually, like mentally, like in all areas, you get connected with, you know, small group at church or whatever, like that's when your mind changes and like you see life in a different light.
Yeah.
And that's when my whole life changed. Like getting around different people in all areas. It couldn't just be one. That's why I respect you, because it's like it is the financial, but it's also the spiritual. And you're all, like you have an entrepreneurship Bible study. It's like, why? Because everything goes hand in hand, and like just being surrounded by the people that like value that over just valuing all the materialistic stuff is awesome.
Yeah, and like I think you could have a mix, as long as, I think it all comes down to your intentions, right? Like I want the Urus as soon as I get back to the US. I want the Rolexes. I want the whatever. But like, I think it all comes down to intention. Like I'm gonna take care of my family and my wife's family and everyone else around me before I get anything for myself. Like, and I'm gonna keep doing that. And so it comes down to intentions and like knowing where it all comes from as well. Knowing that, like being humble enough to be like, dude, this is not all me. Like it's God. And so, yeah, that's powerful, man.
Amen. Yeah, no, I love it.
That's cool.
I love it. That's
any other. You want to end off with any other words for these people? You want to give them some motivation?
Oh gosh, some motivation. Well, it's just simple. Think bigger. Be surrounded by people that think way bigger than you do. That can help you crush your limiting beliefs. And it all starts with personal development. Get in the gym. Get your mind right. Once you get your mind right, you're going to see other opportunities opening up in life. And it comes down to gratitude too, man.
Dude, it does.
Like you have to be grateful for everything in life. Even when you're at the bottom, you have to be grateful for being at the bottom for another breath alive. Be thankful in advance. I don't know where I read that, but it's being thankful for advance for what God has in store for you.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Like I have a gratitude journal right there, and every single morning I just journal like 10 things I'm grateful for. It's like gratitude is everything. It's everything.
That's it. Anything? Last thing for you?
I guess thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this like touched you guys and motivates you guys, right? Like we're just two dudes, young. I'll look back on this in 50 years and be like, wow, we made some changes in this world, right? And so it's like, things are bigger than ourselves, right? Like everyone's so selfish, all about me. Like, dude, chill out. Like, I don't know. It's like that's the most unfulfilling thing. And if you make everything about yourself, then I don't think you pass the levels. I think like at a certain level, you have to be more about other people than yourself. And so like just start thinking bigger, start thinking how you can help other people. And next time you go to a coffee shop, tip a waitress 20, 40, 50, 100, 200 bucks, whatever it is. Just show some love, spread the kindness, and be nice to people, man. And tag me and Luke if you do that. Like just keep crushing it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.